allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to remind everyone that this is a public forum and an open meeting with a call-in option provided. There is time on the agenda to provide input for hearings. The meeting is being video and audio recorded and minutes will be taken. Also, meetings are now live streaming. Comments will become part of the meeting record. If persons wish to speak before the board, please identify yourself, state where you live in order to be heard on the record. Also note if you are speaking on behalf of others. Awards, recognitions, or correspondence? None. I have none also. Approval of, entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of February 22nd of 2023. That's tough.
I move.
Second.
Been a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Any additions to the agenda?
I'm not aware of any.
Hearing none. Public input and recognition of visitors.
I'm
None.
proud to have my sister here today.
There you go.
Charlotte Birdwell, yeah. Hi.
Charlotte, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing a short agenda.
You should come more often.
All right, let's jump right into the business items. Our first item today is a community development partnership presentation.
Good morning. Appreciate your time very much this morning. I'm Paul Sequist, 684 College Street, Milton Freewater. I'm here today representing the Community Development Partnership known as CDP. Along with me, Gordon Hall and Steve Irving. Gordon is a business person, member of CDP. Steve also is a member of CDP and city councilman. We're here today asking for a funding request. For that, I want to preview with what we're doing with Clearwater. CDP is an organization that promotes business and does its best to make Milton Freewater a great place to live. About 14 years ago, per the picture in your packet, we did this sign on the water tower as you come in from the south entrance. And at that time, it's an all vinyl sign. It lasted now about 4 years longer than its life expectancy, but it's now starting to unravel. You can't tell that as you drive into town unless you got a real critical eye and are familiar with that sign. We're now in the process of replacing it. It's between the city and CDP. We've got it funded, and as soon as the warm weather comes about, that sign will be replaced. Hopefully we can get another 12 to 14 years out of the new one. The projects that we're here to ask for funding for the day, we'd like to do wayfinding signage in Milton Freewater. We'd like to do a class job of cleaning the community up. For whatever reason, over the years, things tend to get too commonplace. People forget what it looks like. We've got to do a major cleanup to make Milton Freewater shine. We want to become a place where people will stop. And with the wayfinding signage, we can get them off the highway. They'll know what's on North Main Street. They'll know where the golf course is, where the swimming pool is, where the park systems are, and the schools.
To
Right
be fair,
now-
I know where all the water hazards are on the golf course in Milton Freewater.
So does my wife. I caddy for her, so I know how that goes. Our goal this year is to, in the picture you see on the overhead, is what College Place
We actually have them, correct, so.
does. So, this signage gives you a direction of where whatever it is that you would like to find, gives a traveler the opportunity to see something that's, oh, there is something here other than just Highway 11 going through town. Our goal is to put up 24 of these this year. The map inside gives you an idea of where we'd like to put those signs. They're not a cheap thing, but their life expectancy is, again, 8 to 10 years to be out of vinyl. And what I'm looking for now is the funding for the sign. CDP and the members will make sure these get installed correctly and to code. The price tag for doing that
$9,814.28,
is
according to the
24 signs. Thank you. Along with that, in order to get the town cleaned up, the city is going to, we're going to coordinate it with the city's cleanup program where they let you haul your garbage to the landfill every spring. So on the 15th of April, we're going to coordinate their trash cans scattered throughout town, 300-gallon cans, and whatever dumpsters we may need. In order to do that, we're going to do our best to get every citizen, every household in town aware that we're cleaning up. And that's the reason for the mail-out card that you see in your packet. One of those go to every household, both in English and Spanish. Milton Freewater has become a community that is certainly bilingual, and in order for, and the Hispanics are very, very willing to help. If they don't know that we're doing it, though, they don't show up. We're doing our best to get them more involved in the community with other activities, and it's a struggle. And everything that we do, we just plain got to get that part of the community involved. So the bottom line is we need $12,000 to do it. These are not the only projects on our schedule. Future project is to get the landscaping under the underpass as you move through town. We finally got the weeds eradicated that had grown for the last 2 or 3 years. And when the underpass was done 32 years ago, the state, I'm not sure how to correctly politically say this, but they conned the city into a contract of taking care of the underpass by giving them $150,000 to do it. 150 grand, and they were gone. Well, in 32 years, the sprinkling system that was there has wore out. The vegetation that was planted, somebody from the valley apparently figured out that it should have ivy growing there. The ivy they planted was not ivy that grows in Eastern Oregon. So somewhere along the way, the $150,000 got used. The ivy didn't grow. The water system that tried to keep it green wore out. And so now we're back to trying to figure this thing out. So as I move through these projects this year with CDP, we want to make sure that we look good, that we're clean, that we're inviting as a community, that people can tell where to go and stop and play and spend a few dollars at the restaurants, maybe find this place to live. I grant you that our request is not economic development in the sense that we all think of jobs being created immediately with a new storefront or a new factory going in. Economic development that we're talking about today will return many dollars back in funding for new things that take place in Milton Freewater, new buildings, new employment, and there's a place we gotta start. They're not gonna come there and plant their new building or start a new business if we don't look good and show people what we are. On behalf of Milton Freewater, CDP, and the other organizations in Milton Freewater, I request funding and hope that you see the ability to help us. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Paul. So what is the total ask? Of the four different projects?
It's right on
That's on the 12 sides.
page. 12,700.
$12,707.
So you're not at 12,000?
$12,707.64.
Because I saw the $22,000 for the wrap on the,
The RAP is already funded. The city funded it and CDP funded it. So the reason I brought that for you is just to see that we've got skin in the game also.
okay, gotcha. Okay. And then I didn't see anything on the beautification of the underpass.
I'm going to the port.
Okay, gotcha. Other questions, but before we go to other questions, Paul, we have and I asked him to come to the meeting today, Bob Walder. He's our new Community Development Director. And
Hi, Bob.
what we've done is actually in the process of putting together a brand new application so that we have the information like you submit in an application form with the guidelines and those type of things. And so what I'm going to ask Bob to do is to make sure he gets in contact with you so that we can have the formal application form done so that we can get that back to us and see his recommendations and the process works itself through. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood how the next steps work. Questions, comments?
So I think the presentation was very well thought out, and I like the pictures. Yeah, I think very nice. Thank you.
I live there, we live in Milton Freewater, and we have a lot going on. We have new businesses on the Milton side of town and in Freewater too. And I think Paul makes excellent point. We have this whole wine industry thing happening, and we're not on the cusp of it happening, it's happening. And so even the award winners the other night at the the dinner that we had, there was a couple of folks I didn't know. And in fact, I looked at my husband and said, do you know these people? And they're part of the wine industry that's coming into Milton Clearwater. And so, yeah, our town is changing and it's growing, but it's growing in a positive way. So I think Paul just makes excellent point. And I will tell you, Paul, that I did have a good conversation with Bob this morning, and I think you'll be very pleased with what he has to say. And he gave me some of the new guidelines for the community and economic development, and you fit right in there. I mean, everything that you've asked for is right on the sheet of paper.
Thank you.
And the turnaround, according to Bob, is very quick. So, yeah.
The thing that's happened in Milton Clearwater, for whatever reason, these graffiti artists have found some buildings in town that they like. We're not the railroad train, it stays there. If it's on a rail car, it moves on through and keeps on going. And it's really difficult to get property owners to accept the fact that because some yahoo that should have been in jail didn't get caught, painted their building with nasty stuff, and then I'm now responsible for cleaning my building up. It's a tough thing for property owners to buy into. Last fall, my wife and I, so tired of this stuff. We spent our own money a whole weekend and repainted a bunch of stuff. We've got a little comeback, but so far it's stayed out. And I really believe that if we can be on it quick, get that stuff done, keep the town clean, let people know what's going on, we're gonna shine like the rest of the county. Appreciate your time this morning.
I really appreciate your time, Paul, and the whole group. The one thing that you should know is that Umatilla County is putting new welcome entry signs where it's not happening as fast enough, but welcoming signs into our county other than just the green ones. And our first one is actually planned at State Line where the Woody brothers are putting in the new mini storages. So hopefully we can even dress that corner up more, even with the new construction. But I think you'll be happy when you see that sign go up. We've been working on that for over a year now, and Bob's done just an incredible job on design and layout. So
Terrific.
I think it'll add to your programs for sure. And I think what Cindy mentioned, I think Roger Lemstrom was right on the money Saturday evening, is that Milton Clearwater is not on the edge of starting something great, that it's probably about 25 to 50% already on its way through that. So congratulations to you guys.
We want to hold up our end of the county. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate y'all being here.
Next item is a public works purchase for 2 pickups. Mr. Tom Fellows.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Fellows, Public Works Director. Had I known that your agenda was so light, I would have worked a little harder to fill it up a little fuller for you.
That's why you don't get to know.
So, what we're bringing before you today, as you well know, the last few years, new vehicle purchases have become extremely difficult. Manufacturers are not putting out their order boards very often, and so it's become rather stressful to try to replace some of our older equipment. So when Finance Department got a hold of me and pointed out that Enterprise Fleet Management had 5 pickups that were available that would fit our specifications, what we're looking for, we discussed it, and what we're bringing before you is the possible purchase of 2 of these vehicles. Ram 2500 4x4s, full-length pickup boxes, which is what we really need. The cost of these vehicles, I'm told from finance, is $48,000 each, which would bring the total of two vehicles at $96,000. And so we're requesting permission to go ahead and purchase these two pickups.
Questions, comments?
I don't see Robert here, but I met with Robert and Michelle Hall yesterday. Robert was way okay with this purchase. The vehicles are there, and this would be a perfect fit for you, and so we're on board.
And we have the budget for it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Cindy? Anything? Entertain a motion?
I move approval to authorize purchase two Ram 2500 4x4 pickups from Enterprise Fleet Management, cost of $96,000 for the road department.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the board schedule.
The schedule for April through June for the board meetings is up for review again. It appears there's another date in May that may not have a quorum, and so requesting that the May 17 board meeting be moved to May 23rd.
Discussion?
Mr. Chair, move approval.
Just making sure I didn't have county comment, so. Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Okay,
carries.
thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the courthouse planning contract. What this is a request from DLR Group to contract with Anderson and Perry for $20,000 for the civil engineering, the preliminary civil engineering on the new courthouse review. We passed a budget of $150,000 for this, and the contract with DLR is for $100,000. This fits into the contract.
So this would come out of that we were budgeting for.
Yeah. Well, I'd entertain a motion.
I approve amendment to personal service contract with DLR Group to include an additional amount of $20,000 for civil engineering services for the new courthouse.
So I'll second it, but I've got a question. It says with additional amount, so is that on top of then, or is that?
No, because their original contract was only for $100,000 out of that. So it has to be a modification.
Okay, so it's not additional money then?
No, it's not additional.
Okay.
No, that still leaves $30,000 that isn't in the contract.
Okay.
Did I hear a second?
Yeah, I second it.
Oh, okay. Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And comments, concerns from commissioners?
I have none.
The only comment I have is to follow up on the what Cindy started earlier. One of the things we're blessed and able to do as commissioners is to attend the kind of special evenings that each of the communities have throughout Umatilla County. I wish there were 12 of them, to be honest with you, because each one we go to is a little different than the other one that we went to. In fact, we have one tonight in Hermiston. But I learn more in those evenings than I do the whole year of visiting city council meetings and everything else in the individual 12 communities in Umatilla County. I really enjoy them, the people, the award winners especially, and like I said, each city does it differently. But I'll tell you what, Mountain Freewater hit a home run. Theirs was exceptionally well done, well attended, and well received by the people that were there. Generally, at the end of these events, the rooms clear fairly quickly. That room did not clear fairly quickly. So it kind of tells you how tight that community is and what it means to them. And for everybody involved in that, Mary Elizabeth especially, but to the whole group that put that on. Congratulations to them and Umatilla County, and I truly look forward to all of these every year. So, good thing the pandemic's over.
Thank you.
Anything else? This meeting is adjourned.